Hi guys, welcome back to CountyLine Farming. In today's video, we'll be taking a closer look at our brand new John Deere 1590 grain drill. So what do you say? Let's get right into it. So we purchased this grain drill last fall at the end of the year. They had put some scales on it, and they were waiting for 2 more parts yet. It was sitting on the lot for about a year, and they were just waiting on a couple parts that were back ordered. So it just arrived about a week ago.
That should be good.
So our 750 John Deere grain drill we had had for at least 15 years, and it was well used when we bought it. We're running about 650 to 750 acres over about every year with it. So it was getting pretty wore out, and we were gonna have to do a complete rebuild on it. We were working on it quite a few hours every week, at least an hour or two, it seemed like every single day. So for the price it was going to take to fix the old one, we decided just to go ahead and buy a brand new one. It's the same size, it just has a couple more features. Here's our John Deere 750 grain drill. You guys see me plant all the soybeans with it this spring, and we plant a lot of acres with it. And just put new tires on it this spring. But get a good look at it, because you might not be seeing it too much more. Just a little hint there, but yeah, it's 750 grain drill, pretty popular, pretty reliable other than a few small things. So I purchased this grain drill in the half with my mom and dad, so I'll probably spend the rest of this year, and hopefully I'll have it paid off by the end of 2024 is my plan. I actually started paying on it last fall a little bit once I got the skid loader paid off late summer. So we started paying on this thing, and got quite a few differences, even though it is the same exact kind of style of grain drill. So opening up this, the bin is at least a quarter bigger, I'd say. So it's quite a bit bigger, so that is going to mean it's going to be a little bit heavier going down through the field. When this is shut, you have a little foam thing here, and once it starts going down, there's a little gauge on your other side you can look back. The other one had windows, and once it got down below the windows, you had no clue how empty it was, so you're kind of guessing. So that'll help you there. But in this scenario, we won't really need that, other than maybe before we get the scale calibrated. So there's a scale right here, and this is attached to the main frame, and everything above that, it'll be zeroed out. There's a monitor that'll be in the 4630, and that scale will tell us exactly how much seed's in the tank. So once that scale gets down to 5 or 10 pounds, probably at least 10 pounds, we'll know that it's going to be completely empty, or a little bit before that, because it's not always completely level in through here if you put a little bit more in one side or the other, or if you're on kind of a hilly terrain. So once you get the idea of how much you can run it down to, that way you don't have to come back here and check it. And there's multiple incidents every year that one quarter of the drill gets run out for maybe a half a round or something, and then we got to skip in the field for 6 months, and it looks super bad. So that'll definitely help us there. It'll improve efficiency. Latch is basically the same. It seals a little bit better also. The lid's a lot more sturdy. The other one was kind of flimsy almost. So doesn't have that, it comes out a little bit towards the front, since the seed box up here is bigger. This is at least 3 times the size as the other alfalfa box. The other one was like up to here. It never had this other extension. So this is gonna let us plant for at least almost 10 acres probably if we ever clear full. with alfalfa, so it'll be nice not having to stop all the time and refill this thing. And the other one, he was sitting back here and refilling it all the time, it seemed like. So that's also bigger. That just is gravity, nothing, no little lid on there. This one has a little bit different lights on the back. The lights work. The other one never had lights, I guess. The drive wheel is designed on the back's the same. The tires are a little bit more of a floater tire versus just an implement tire, I guess. They are a little bit bigger, so it'll help us float this more weight, so we don't have any more compaction. That tire isn't on the ground quite as much as this one, since this is the drive wheel. Once in a while that one is almost off the ground, since you have so much pressure, especially in no-till, on these row units down on the bottom. So this drill is a 7.5 inch spacing. The reason we kept this design is in the springtime we're planting soybeans, Sudan grass. In the summertime we're planting alfalfa, hay, orchard grass, that type of mix. And then in the fall we are running wheat, triticale, and rye. So this planter will be used for 6 different crops throughout the year, and all using the same exact planter. Soybeans, a lot of guys run 30 inch, 15 inch, 20 inch. There's a couple other weird configurations, but we're sticking with 7.5 inch beans. The whole design here is the same. The principle, I guess you could say, just a little bit more beefed up than it was, a little bit more reliable. And these I see are completely plastic instead of being metal and then having that ring around them, so that should actually last a little bit longer since that plastic is a little bit more sturdy. Hopefully these bearings, had some trouble with these bearings. Hopefully they will hold up a little bit better. This looks like a little bit heavier also. The difference here is it's a lot more simpler to adjust, to run through there and adjust them. That'd be more efficient. On that side, your stair right there is the same, kind of your whole back designs. Everything here on the back is very similar. Got some brake lights right there. One big difference is the markers. We're not going to be running GPS with this unit this year. Maybe in the future we will be. But right now, where we're at, we're running a 4630 on it. That's what we ran all year last year. Really liked doing that. Once we bought this tractor, we didn't need that tractor for any hauling silage wagons, and we got a lot of the tillage done early this spring, so we won't have to worry about running 4630 on tillage, so this can just stay on here. So the other markers came up, and then they folded straight back down. These just go up and over. Doesn't really matter. This one is called a Pro Series opener, so it's just kind of beefed up opener system. Everything on the older ones that had problems, they tried to fix. There are a couple little things that you're gonna have to fix in maintenance, just like any piece of equipment, but with it being brand new, we don't have to worry about working on it for at least a few years, so that'll be nice. A little bit bigger numbers here and simpler to change your seed rate right there. Here's your indicator for your seed. So right now, of course, it's empty. When you fill that up, that'll raise your little foam cannon, not foam cannon, your little indicator up there. This is your scale system that's running all the way up, and then your monitor will be sitting up in the tractor. Tires are the same as what's on the back, same dolly design. We went with the hitch model, not the 2-point. Seem to like that. Works good. Your hitch is a little bit longer. Before, if you would turn, you would rub about right here when you turned, a little bit when your duals are on, so hopefully that'll eliminate, and won't have to worry about hitting this as much with them duals being longer, especially if you would have a super wide tractor for, say, the 6030 on here. Also have a jack on here. The other one you just kind of held up, but this one is more beefy, and this plate here is a little bit longer too. Comes along with a safety chain. Hitch design's the same with your 2 different hitches depending on what you have on your tractor. And you only need 2 remotes to run this planer. That's another simple thing. 4630 does have a 3rd remote. Never need 3 remotes for anything we run here on the farm, so everything has 2. Couple have 1. Couple different wiring harnesses for the monitor for the tractor, and your simple lights right there. Your whole gauge system right here is very similar to the old one. You can see this gauge from in the tractor. You want to be right in the yellow. Depending on how deep you're planting, what you're planting, you can adjust that. This right here is how you can determine how far down some of that is going. And then your lever to keep all of this up when your hydraulics are not hooked up, or if you're just going down the road, or you're hooked up and you don't ever want it to settle down once you lose pressure on the tractor. That's what controls to keep this up. I could open that up. This is your other gauge to determine all that. So anyways, that's what keeps all that up. So you have on the front 15 inches, and on the back they're in between. That's how you come to 7.5 inch spacing. So if you just had the front row, you'd be at 15 inches, and then your back compensates and splits every one of them rows in half. When you get to the middle here, these ones are kind of going this way, and then in the middle they're going that way, just to keep everything even going. Your alfalfa seed's coming down, and it goes in from the front, and then whatever else is coming in and going straight down. Just a little seed meter, and how it meters it is how far open the little gate there on the bottom is. And then if you are changing seed, you have a little flap just like the old ones. Open that up if you need to go back up with it to thin it up. And you can switch that out. So your seed disc is what's cutting the hole in the ground, and then your gauge wheel is how it gauges how far down that disc is going, which determines how deep you're going. So say this is your row right here, your gauge wheel is going to be driving right on top of the ground. It's not digging in, so it's just flush, and your seed disc is digging down, and then your seed will be dropped in this little furrow, and then your little row closer will be coming in, shutting that row just from one side, and also kind of packing it down in the process to leave your nice little furrow right there. And that's kind of the idea with it. So along with rebuilding our planter over the winter and just having to do a lot of work with it, and if we didn't do that this winter, we'd be continually working on it throughout the busy season. Cylinders were also leaking on the planter, and we're gonna have to rebuild them because we're constantly putting hydraulic oil into the tractor there. So hopefully these markers work pretty good. Another thing was we're gonna have to put new blades on the planter because you could barely see where you were driving. So there's a lot of things that just needed to be fixed, especially this year, and we're right on their edge. So it was just the year to upgrade. Had the finances there, and we just decided to do it. We're using this. It's going over the most ground compared to anything. That's why we bought these 2 units. They're one of the most used pieces of equipment, along with the skid loaders on the farm. They're not used every day, don't get me wrong, but when they're used the whole day. So the reason we didn't go to a 20-foot, you can have a 20-foot grain drill, same thing, just an extra 5 feet. 15 feet, if 16 feet is about all you can do to go down our roads. Our roads are only about 16.5 feet wide, and some spots they're down to 14. So super narrow roads around here to get around from field to field, and we have a lot of narrow entrances, a lot of trees along the entryways. The reason we didn't go all the way up to a 30-foot drill, we could pull a 20-foot drill. 30-foot drill, we'd only have the case to pull. 4630 and 6030 would not be able to pull that big of a drill up and down hills fully loaded. Got a couple of wet spots that we're always fighting with our climate, so that would not work. And if we would pull it with the case, we wouldn't have any tractor to do any tillage with, so that's out of the question there. And 30 feet's just a little on the big side for what we're doing. And so we just stuck with the 15 foot. That's what they had. Now we can't even, or if we were to decide right now we want to buy a second one of these, we could not get one. They won't even tell us when to get another one. So that's why we decided, well, this one was at the dealer, just to go ahead and buy this one. So if you guys do have any more questions about our brand new 1590 grain drill, it was a pretty big deal for us to purchase this year. We'll be keeping you guys updated when we start planting. I'll do quite a bit of the planting, and probably Dad and maybe some other people also, but I'll probably be doing quite a bit of it. So anyways, that's the grain drill. Pretty excited to run it. Everything costs money, and you got to spend money to make money, as we say. So we spent some money, so hopefully it'll make us some money. Anyways, I hope to see you all in the next video. Hopefully it'll dry up, and we'll get back in the field. We got quite a bit of tillage done right now. This video will be quite a ways behind though. We're having an awesome spring so far. A couple rain showers here and there. Couldn't be more blessed. See you in the next one.